Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Sunday, May 25th, 2025. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday, Major League Baseball. First up, the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Detroit Tigers. We got Logan Allen and Tarek Skubal as the starters. I do think this is a pretty lopsided pitching matchup in favor of Detroit. When you look at the Tigers in the month of May, against left-handed pitching, Detroit is top 5 in Major League Baseball in team OPS, solid isolated power with a low strikeout rate to go with it, while Cleveland, on the flip side, has been below league average with a 638 team OPS against lefties. And I also think that Logan Allen, while he's got a sub-4 ERA so far this season, I do expect regression as the season continues. We saw him struggle a bit in that start against the Twins on May 19th. I think the Tigers can get to him for a few runs. Skubal should be able to put together a quality start. And the Tigers win this game and cover the run line at Comerica. So give me Detroit laying the 1.5 runs in this one. Next up, we got the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Boston Red Sox. We got Dean Kramer and Walker Buehler as the starters. Kramer's continuing to struggle. He's given up 4+ runs his last 2 starts. The Orioles are 1-4 in his last 5 games overall. Walker Buehler's coming back from the ejection. His last game, he was thrown out in the 3rd innings, put the Red Sox bullpen in a tough spot, but they battled for him, got the win in that game. And Buehler's been a winning machine overall this season. The Red Sox have done very well in his starts, even though his ERA is not the best at 4.0. He's still been a winning machine, even at Fenway Park, where he's 2-0 with a 3.05 ERA. I'm going to roll the Red Sox in this one on the money line at Fenway. Next up, the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. We've got Bailey Falter and Logan Henderson as the starters. Logan Henderson's been excellent this season so far. It's a very small sample size, but 16 innings with 23 strikeouts and a 1.69 ERA. Now, he's faced some of the weaker lineups in the American League, the A's, the Guardians, the Orioles, but you're facing the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Is still another, one of the weakest lineups in baseball. So I expect Henderson to pitch well, but I also think Bailey Falter, who is coming off one of his best starts of the season, he's got a sub-4 ERA in the season now, and he's facing a Brewers team that in the month of May has been one of the worst lineups in baseball against lefties, 2nd worst in team OPS with a 26% strikeout rate. I got to go with the under in this game. I think both starting pitchers pitch well. I trust both of these bullpens. Give me the under. Next up, we got the San Francisco Giants taking on the Washington Nationals. Robbie Ray and Mike Soroka are the starters. Now, it may be tough to go against Robbie Ray with that 6-0 record. He's been a winning machine for San Francisco, but I think Mike Soroka is a lot better than his current ERA. I've mentioned that a few times. His last start, he was finally able to get the win for Washington, and it was an impressive performance against the Orioles. 5 2/3, 3 runs, so just 1 out shy of a quality start. He had 8 strikeouts in that game. That's the key for me with Soroka. The reason why I've been impressed with his game is the strikeout to walk ratio has been a lot better than what we've seen in his recent stints at the major league level. We know Soroka's somebody that's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career, so he's been kind of up and down from the minor leagues to major leagues and the injured list in the last 3-4 seasons. But last year, when you look at his numbers with the White Sox, he had 44 walks in 79 2/3 innings, about a walk every other inning. That's just not going to get the job done, but only 4 walks in about 20 innings so far this year. His control's been a lot better. I think his stuff has been the best it's been in a long time. And I think that the Nationals can get to Robbie Ray for a few runs. I mean, Robbie Ray's been a winning machine, but he's not been untouchable. His expected numbers aren't the sharpest. I think the Nationals actually provide a pretty tough matchup for a lefty right now. In the month of May, they're top 10 in baseball in team OPS against lefties with a high walk rate and a low strikeout rate. So give me the Nationals in this one at a pretty good price on the money line at Nationals Park. Next up, the Chicago Cubs taking on the Cincinnati Reds. We got Ben Brown and Nick Lodolo as the starters. I wouldn't be surprised if this game played out a little bit like Game 1 of this series, where we saw the Reds take the early lead, but Chicago was never out of it. They were competitive offensively, and then they finally were able to pour it on towards the end of that game and win it 13-6 the final. I think that Ben Brown could give up a few runs. He's not been perfect this season. He didn't pitch well at Great American last year, but I think the Cubs are going to back him up. I think they'll get to Lodolo for a few runs, who has been inconsistent this year, and the Cubs have been really good against left-handed pitching. And then I just trust the Cubs lineup a lot more in a close game late. So for me, if you like the Reds, I would take them in the first 5, but I think the Cubs win this game, the full game. So give me Chicago on the money line. Next up, we got the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Chris Bassett and Ryan Pepiot are the starters. I trust Chris Bassett a little bit more right now. Even though he's given up a good amount of base runners and sharp contact in his last few games, we've also seen him miss a lot of bats, earn those strikeouts. He's got over a strikeout per inning this season, and his control's been solid. The walks have not been a problem. I think he's the better option with Ryan Pepiot struggling at Steinbrenner Field, giving up a lot of home runs. I think the Blue Jays lineup is slightly stronger right now, especially against right-handed pitching, where in the month of May they've been one of the better lineups in baseball. So I'm going to roll with the Toronto Blue Jays in this one on the money line. Next up, we got the Kansas City Royals taking on the Minnesota Twins. We've got Chris Bubich and Bailey Ober as the starters. I think both these starting pitchers are really on their A game right now. Bailey Ober, we know that he struggled in his first start of the season, but now his ERA is sub-4. He's got a sub-3 ERA at home this year, 2.59 in 24 and a third innings with 25 strikeouts. It's tough to go against him. The Twins are 4-0 in the month of May in his starts, but you got Chris Bubich on the other side. He's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball with a second-best ERA in baseball for qualifying pitchers, about a strikeout per inning, only 3 home runs given up this season. Facing a Twins team and against lefties in the month of May has not been anything great. The Twins have been a great team overall in May, but against lefties, a sub-700 OPS with a high strikeout rate and a low isolated power. I'm going to roll with the under. You got 2 solid bullpens, 2 good starting pitchers playing in great form. Give me the under. Next up, we've got the Seattle Mariners taking on the Houston Astros. We got Luis Castillo and Colton Gordon as the projected starters. Castillo against the Astros lineup, the current Astros lineup, has got great numbers. Over 120 plate appearances with just under a 30% strikeout rate and only a 1.6% walk rate, a 236 xWOBA, 222 expected batting average. Just really good numbers. You don't see these types of numbers with pitchers, 100-plus plate appearances against that lineup. He's in good form overall. I think he pitches well, even though the Astros have a very good offense at home. Colton Gordon, not my favorite option so far this season. He's struggled. Got an ERA above 5. I think the Mariners can get to him for a few runs. Give me the Mariners in this one on the money line. Next up, we got the Texas Rangers taking on the Chicago White Sox. We got Patrick Corbin and Davis Martin as the starters. I don't think that Davis Martin can keep a sub-4 ERA for the rest of the season, but he's keeping the ball on the ground. He had a 14-9 ground ball fly ball ratio in his last start. His control's been really sharp. Only 2 walks combined in 23 innings in the month of May. While the White Sox haven't always backed him up in the run support department, and they've lost a fair share of his starts, you're up against Patrick Corbin, who I don't want to be laying this kind of price with on the road. I know he's pitched well so far this season, but he wasn't his best in that last game against the Yankees in a loss and a failed run line cover. And the Rangers are 1-4 in its last 5 games overall. The Rangers' offense has not been the best on the road this season, one of the weakest lineups in baseball away from Globe Life Field. So I got to roll with the White Sox here at a really good price. I'm going to take a shot with Chicago on the money line. Next up, the Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. We got Brandon Pfaadt and Sonny Gray as the starters. Now, it was pretty concerning for me to see Brandon Pfaadt no strikeouts in 6 innings in his last start. He's been a little bit too inconsistent for me, and he's given up 4 home runs his last 2 games combined. I know 3 of those were to the Los Angeles Dodgers, one of the best lineups in baseball, but even still, we know the Cardinals have been a lot more competitive offensively in the month of May. I think Pfaadt could be in trouble in this one, and I think Sonny Gray's the better option at Busch Stadium. When you look at Sonny Gray's numbers against the Diamondbacks' current lineup, they're not the best. He's got a low strikeout rate, the expected slugging percentage steep, but Brandon Pfaadt is kind of in the same situation, a .491 expected slugging percentage with a low strikeout rate and about 40 plate appearances. So I think that at best for Arizona, the starting pitchers cancel out. At worst, we see Pfaadt give up a few runs early, and the Cardinals just never look back. So I'm going to roll with St. Louis in this one on the money line at Busch Stadium. Next up, we got the New York Yankees taking on the Colorado Rockies. We got Will Warren and Antonio Senzatella as the starters. I think the Yankees win this game. I think they cover the run line. It wouldn't shock me, though, if Will Warren gave up a couple of home runs in this one. He's got great strikeout numbers. We've seen him pitch really well as of late, but he's never pitched at Coors Field. He faced the Rockies last year and really struggled at Yankee Stadium. We know he can give up some sharp contact here and there, and I think in his Coors Field debut, it's not going to be a perfect outing, but it's definitely helpful that he earns a lot of missed bats and strikeouts. He's got 19 of them in his last 2 games. So I expect an okay outing from Will Warren, but it wouldn't shock me to see the Rockies get on the board early and maybe make this game interesting early on. But then you got Antonio Senzatella for the Rockies, who's just been miserable as of late. 4+ runs his last 5 games, 1-8 with an ERA above 6. I don't think he's a viable starting pitching option right now in this league. And we've seen a lot of lopsided final scores in the games that he started in. So I got to go with the Yankees here, lay the 1.5 and 2.5 runs on the run line. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Phillies and the Athletics. We got Jesus Luzardo and Gunnar Hoagland as the starters. Now, for me, I got to go with the Phillies in this game. I just think both these starting pitchers in completely different form right now. You got Luzardo, 6-inning, 1-run performance against the Rockies at Coors Field with 10 strikeouts to go with it. The Phillies have won his last 5 games. He's in great form. Hoagland has given up 9 runs his last 2 starts combined, which was 10 innings of work. 5 home runs to go with it, 5 walks, 13 base hits. He's just not pitching well after a really good Major League debut, and even the second start was pretty good against the Mariners. His last 2 games have been miserable. I think the Phillies get to him early, and the Phillies win this game and cover the run line. I'll lay the 1.5 runs with Philadelphia. Next up, we got the Marlins and the Angels. We've got Edward Cabrera and Kyle Hendricks as the starters. Now, I do think the Angels are a little bit overvalued in this situation because of their recent success. It's definitely, promising to see the Angels win all these games recently, but Kyle Hendricks still an ERA above 5 on the season. He's not a starting pitcher I'd like to lay this kind of price with. And, Edward Cabrera, his ERA is above 5 as well, but I think he's got a lot more upside to his game. We saw 7 strikeouts against the Cubs in his last start. We took the Marlins in that game. We took a lot of heat for taking the Marlins in that game, which ended up being a big 8-7 walk-off win for Miami. And the Marlins are 3-2 in Cabrera's last 5 starts. And the only 2 losses were 1-run losses, 1 in extra innings against the Los Angeles Dodgers. So Cabrera's been competitive, and I think he's going to keep the Marlins competitive in this game. Miami's been solid against righties this year. Give me the Marlins in this one at a great price on the money line. Next up, we got the San Diego Padres taking on the Atlanta Braves. We got Dylan Cease and Spencer Schwellenbach as the projected starters. Cease, I've watched his starts, recently against this Braves lineup. He's just really pitched well against the Braves in the last couple of seasons, and overall against the current Braves lineup, about 30% strikeout rate with a 278 xWOBA. He's in good form overall. He has a tough start to the season. His ERA was steep on paper. His last 5 games, though, 3 runs or fewer in all 5 of those starts. 2 runs or fewer in 4 of the 5, and strikeout numbers are picking it up. I know Schwellenbach's been sharp himself this season, but I've watched his recent outings. He is giving up some sharp contact, and I don't think he's looked as dominant as he did in the first few outings of the season. We even saw his last game give up 4 runs against the Red Sox. Now, he got a lot of run support in that game, and the Braves were able to win it, but I don't think he's going to get that type of run support in this one. I think the Padres win this game on the money line on the road. And finally, the Sunday Night Baseball game on ESPN between the Dodgers and the Mets. We've got Landon Knack and Kodai Senga as the starters. This has been a fun series to watch so far. I think this is going to be a good game as well. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game early on. I like the over in the first 5. Now, I've got to give credit to Kodai Senga. He didn't have his best stuff in his last start against the Red Sox, but he was still able to go 6 innings, 3 runs, and 5 strikeouts in a low-scoring game. Now, he took the loss in that one. Like I said, it wasn't his best outing. He was in a lot of jams, and the Red Sox had plenty of opportunities to crack that game open. But you got to give credit to Senga for finding those outs, getting out of those jams. But still concerned for me to see him give up 3 walks and 5 base hits and some sharp contact against the Red Sox. Now you're facing the Dodgers, an even better lineup. And I think that Landon Knack on the other side has obviously struggled quite a bit this year. The Mets should be able to do some damage offensively. I think we see a lot of runs in the first 5 innings and potentially the full game, but give me the over in the first 5. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, Romanelli, good luck.